Hi guys, it's Sarah. I'm back today with a guest that I have been waiting for a long time to interview. She has an amazing story, and what's different about this story is it's not all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to bariatric surgery. So I want everyone to know that this is a possibility, and it's good to know all of the risks associated before you head into a major surgery like this. So I'd like to introduce my friend and coworker, Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Sarah. I know I'm so excited to get to share this story because I think everybody thinks, oh my gosh, I'm going to do a quick fix and I'm going to go have gastric bypass surgery and lose weight and it's going to be so wonderful. And it is wonderful, but it is not without challenges. And yeah. So I'm excited to share it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, I can't wait for everyone to hear. Can you give us just a little bit of background first on just who is Lauren? What was your life like leading up to
Yeah.
it? Was it hard to make the decision to get it done?
Yeah. So in high school, in college, I did the sports thing. I worked my butt off all the time. And then I went to college. I moved 3,000 miles away and went to Baylor. And, that session 15 was like freshman 30 for me.
Right.
It's all this freedom, right? You're like, oh, I can eat and I can do all these things. And
Hmm.
so I did that and paid for it. And then, tried to work out a little bit here and there, but it just wasn't a priority. And then moved home, did all the things. Um, I was in a relationship at the time that really was not a healthy relationship looking back. One where I would be praised if I lost a pound
Oh,
or,
great.
all those things. So that really messes with this and
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
Like so I had to 300 pounds
Oh,
and
wow.
it was something that I was so unhappy. And
Yep.
somehow I met my husband. He loved me for me. And it was like,
Mhm.
he didn't care. He's like, I didn't fall in love with you for this. I fell in love with you for this.
Wow.
And, yeah, so 300 pounds. So leading up to surgery, I was like, I'm gonna work out, I'll lose weight. I would work out, I would work out, I would work out, I would watch what I eat. And I did Weight Watchers and I did all these things and I had like the hardest time
Yeah.
A, losing weight and B, sticking with it. And then I had a baby. And that was like a game changer. Because then at that point, the older you get and then you have a baby, so your clothes are fighting, and then that's what nothing falls off of you. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Um, and then my aunt and uncle came up from Texas one day, and well, they were here for a while, and she ended up telling me that she was going to have weight loss surgery, and I was
Oh.
like, "I'm sorry, what?"
Cool.
And she was heavier as well, and she had weight loss surgery, and it went great. And I thought, "Man, I'm going to do this." And then I started looking at the price, and I thought, "Not a chance. Can I afford that? There is
Yeah.
no way I can afford that." And so I started looking at Mexico. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. I sit down, I'm so worried to talk to my husband about this because I didn't know, like, what does he think? Am I drawing attention to something he already loves? Like, what is this? And he looked at me and he said, okay, we're going to have some conversations. Like, I'm not sure Mexico is the place, but let's do the research. So together we did the research.
Aw.
And he finally was like, okay, if this is what you want to do, we'll make this work. That's fine. I had a 2-year-old
Yeah.
who, I have two older kids too, but it's something he said when you've like given birth on to your own child,
Yeah.
right? Like I don't want her to be raised without two parents.
Right.
And I went on an outing with my mom, and I was like so nervous to tell her what I was gonna do. And I told her, yeah, I'm gonna have weight loss surgery. I've made the decision. Bill and I are on the same page. And she's like, oh great, where are you doing it? What doctor?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even remember the name. And I was like, well, I'm going to Mexico. And she was like, absolutely not. No, no, no. And I'm like, she was, what if all the things? And what if this? And what if this? And
Hmm.
what if this happens? And what? I'm like, well, I've done all the research. Nothing's going to happen. It's going to be fine.
Yeah. Well.
So a few days later, I get a call from my parents and they're like, we want to meet with you. We want to talk about this. We support you in doing this. What do we have to do to help you do it in the state? I will say my story is, no, I should rephrase that. I know how blessed I am. that parents willing to help. That is
Yeah.
not the case for everybody.
Yeah.
They made it work for me financially. They helped me do it with like a private loan through them
Mhm.
so that I could afford to do it in the States
Yeah, that's
and then pay them
beautiful.
back.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what I did, and for the most part. And I also had a grandmother who wanted to help me, so she also
Mhm.
contributed, which was
Beautiful.
very kind. And I ended up having it in the States. I had it here, and my doctor was in Idaho.
Mhm.
And he was great. Dr. Pennings was phenomenal. Having surgery in Northwest Specialty, they were also phenomenal. I loved all of it. Again, I want to make it very clear that what happened to you is no fault of the doctors. It's no fault of the surgeries it's no fault of anything. My body just did weird things.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's the background so far in getting to this point.
No, that was great. Thank you for explaining all that. And honestly, I have goosebumps already because you have such a great support circle. What your husband did and said is beautiful. And then thank goodness your parents actually said, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah.
With the Mexico plan.
Yeah.
Obviously everybody knows that I did go to Mexico and everything went
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
But if you had, then you would not be alive, most likely. And so let's go ahead and tell people why that is. What happened?
Yeah. So I had my surgery, and it was like the week, 2 weeks before Deficiency, 3 weeks. I can't remember. It's like December 18th. I can't remember. It's a blur.
Yeah.
But I went in, had my surgery. We knew I would probably stay the night overnight, which is no problem. Stayed the night. I got my fluids in. I felt fine day 1. Day 2, I was like, oh, I'm going home. I'm starting to struggle to get my protein down. I'm starting to struggle to get my liquids down. I'm going to the bathroom and doing all those things. But I'm really uncomfortable here.
Mhm.
And so I went home. We had an agreement that my husband was going to go back to work. My mom just lived down the street. So between my mom and my mother-in-law, they would come over and kind of help
Check
me.
on you.
Like, how I went to daycare, all the things. And I started like 2 minutes in to be like, man, every time we go to bed, like I am so hot, but I'm freezing. Like I had a fever.
Mm.
And I started to get this headache that was, I don't really know how to describe it. Like imagine your worst migraine
Yeah.
and then add on to that. But I was without the capability to be like, okay, what am I supposed to do? It got to the point where the only thing that would provide relief, other than like the hydrocodone and Vicodin or whatever else they had given me, which really
Yeah.
wasn't taking the edge off,
Yeah.
was my husband would ice pack me, like
Wow.
on my neck, up over my head, and then it would break the fever, and then it was like the fever wasn't even a fever. I don't even know it was just weird. I
So,
remember oh yeah, go ahead.
just pause real quick. To tell people, so you were in the hospital for 2 nights or
One
just
night.
just one
One
night,
night.
and they released you the next day?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I was doing everything. I felt fine when they released me.
Okay, that's
And
awesome.
we had, you get the list and all your like, watch for these things. And it's like, okay.
And what, just let everyone know, which type of surgery did you have?
Oh yeah, I had Roux-en-Y, so I had gastric bypass.
Okay, perfect.
And I met with my doctor to determine what surgery I wanted to have because I wasn't sure if I wanted to use a sleeve or if I wanted to do a bypass.
Right.
He asked me one question which I thought was very interesting, and he said, "Do you get indigestion or reflux right now?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I'm 300 pounds. Of course I do." He was like, "No." He goes, "Excluding that, if you get it now and you have the sleeve, you are most likely going to end up taking some kind of pepsin or something the rest of your life."
Yeah, miserable, right? Terrible.
Yeah, and I'm like, hard pass. Like, it's
Yeah.
worth a couple extra $1,000. You need to just make
Yeah,
that go away.
for sure.
So that's the surgery that I had.
Okay.
So that night, everything was fine. Went home the next day. Everything was fine. Couple days in, and my mother-in-law was actually with me. I had been running that like high heat, stuff fever, which is not done on headaches and ice packs. And every day they ask you to get up and walk, and they want you to like loop your house however many
Yeah.
times, like just move your body, get the gas out, get all the things out.
Yeah.
And I walked from maybe 50 feet from our bedroom to the living room. And my mother-in-law, we were looking at me, and she said, "You need to keep walking." And I looked at her and I said, "No, thanks. I'm going to go lay back down. I don't feel well."
Mm-hmm.
And I went and laid back down. I remember she called my mom. My mom came over. My mom took one look at me and said, "We're going to the doctor. I'm calling the doctor. I'm calling your husband, and we're going in.
Yeah.
You have no color.
Yeah.
You don't look like you feel well. Something's not right."
Yeah, and your problem wasn't with your, like, incision area
None.
necessarily. Your problem
Nothing.
was with the migraines, right?
And I
And the
thought, "Man,
fever.
why is my head hurting? Like, my
Yeah.
head is here. My stomach is here. This is adding up.
Correct.
What
Yeah.
is happening?" And
Yeah.
I was clearly dehydrated, right?
Yeah.
Um, and so I go in, and even in my sick state, I am apparently more physically responsible than I thought, because my first thought was, I can't pay for this, mom. Whatever they're doing,
Oh,
like, I paid cash. I cannot pay
right.
for this.
Right.
So my dad's an attorney, and he goes, "Pass, you have a Bliss policy." So I
Mm.
came cash. Like, I had a full year of coverage. Anything that happened, I was covered.
Wow. Can you explain a little bit more on that for people? A
So,
Bliss policy.
yeah, and this Bliss policy, it may have just been my doctor, it may have just been the hospital. I'm not 100% sure. To be
Okay.
honest, I don't know how I remember those details. But basically, 1 year from surgery, anything that happened to me, for example, this, I was
Mhm.
covered. So I didn't have to pay an extra hospital visit. I had to pay an extra doctor's visits. Not just follow-ups, right? But like
That's cool.
anything extra.
I wonder if your dad helped arrange that before your surgery, like with the
I don't
doctor or.
I don't think so, because I do remember something about, like, I wrote the check at the hospital.
Mhm.
And I remember signing something that said, like, "You're paying cash, the following things are covered," kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, "Oh, okay." I mean, it's like a
Perfect.
warranty. You basically buy
Yeah, yeah,
yourself a
yeah.
warranty.
No, that's
Um,
great. That's wonderful to know.
I also cannot with certainty say that you wouldn't get that if you did, like, a cure credit. I can't say that. I don't.
Right, right. It's just something for people to look into
Yes.
beforehand. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So my mom's in to the doctor, which I'm in Spokane, and that's in Post Falls, Idaho. So it's about 45 minute drive.
Mhm.
Um, and I was miserable the entire way, because I was like, my head was pounding, everything. They get there, and I never, they put me in a wheelchair and can hardly walk.
Yeah.
I never, they get up and they like pinched my skin, and it was so dehydrated, it just stayed peaked.
Oh my goodness.
And I remember she pulled up my sleeves and like looked at my veins, and I'm pretty, you can't see it, but I'm pretty veiny. And
Mhm.
everything was just like,
Not there.
mm-mm. And so she's like, "Okay, I think we're going to admit you, and we're going to take some tests and do all this."
Yeah.
So that night they ran tests, and they ended up having to put I have a scar. It's really little. You
Oh,
probably can't see it.
yeah.
But they ended up having to put a decline in, because everything was collapsing. Everything was shutting down.
Oh my god, that's so scary.
Yeah. And I don't remember. I remember once they got the PICC line in, I remember bits and pieces. So a lot
Mhm.
of what I'm telling now has been retold to me, because I
Yeah,
was,
out of it.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so the next day they ran tests that night, and they said, "Okay, you got some bleeding. It's nowhere near any of the incision. That all your incisions look great. You don't have
Yeah.
any duct work, right? Like, out of whack. So we're gonna do surgery tomorrow morning. We've got to fix whatever this is. We're gonna go in and find it." And I said, "Okay." Apparently, I agreed to this. So my mom stayed with me that night, and at this we learned money. I vaguely remember being brought down the stairs for surgery. And I remember them sitting at me laying in my bed, and my mom sitting at the end of my bed with a Bible. Oh, yes.
Like with the PIC line, and then
Yeah.
something I don't remember what you said about ductwork, but
So so the doctor basically went in, and there was no leakage in any of the ductwork.
oh, okay.
They had
Good.
kind of put back together.
Yeah.
And so they scheduled surgery for first thing in the morning. The next morning it was like a 6 a.m. surgery. And I get Jesus to this, I'm telling you, are revealed to me.
Mhm.
So I want to make it very clear. Once I had the care plan in, I started to kind of regain some like wherewithal.
Mhm.
And the next morning, I remember them wheeling me down to surgery. My mom was with me, and my husband had to stay with the kid. I didn't want my husband to be like, where's mom? And now where's dad? And I didn't want that.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I remember laying on the bed in the pre-op area, and my mom sitting on the end of the area in a chair, and she had a Bible. And I remember being kind of in and out of it. And I just remember it's the first time I saw my mom kind of cry about this. And it was probably just
Yeah.
stress.
Yeah.
And another group with the doctor, Dr. Kenning's coming in, and I remember him putting his hand on my leg. Why I remember little details like this, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But right before I took me back, I said, he's all right, Lauren, we're ready to go. We're going to go get you fixed up. Everything's going to be fine. Then I looked at him. Apparently, this was sweet told me. And I said, what's her name? And he's, what? And I said, what's her name? And my mom's like, well, honey, your name's Lauren. And I said, no. And I'm like getting agitated. And I'm like, what is her name? And he's like, sweetheart, you're Lauren, and we're going to go back to surgery. We're going to fix all this. And I said, what is my daughter's name? And my mom, he's, I guess, whipped at my mom. And my mom looked at me, was just like, her name is Emerson, Emmy. And I said, don't forget that. I have to wake up and go home to her. And then I don't remember anything else.
That is like,
So,
oof,
I know.
crazy.
Isn't that
Talk about
nuts?
goosebumps. Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
So that was that. I was in the hospital for, I think, 3 or 4 more days. They ended up putting a drain in. And you want to know what the weirdest thing was? My body, out of nowhere, decided that it was not going to clot. You want your body to clot to some degree to like stop bleeding, but you don't want blood clots, right?
Right.
My body was like, forget it. Let's freeze-therm blood this thing. Out of nowhere. I had nothing wrong with my incisions. My doctor did a phenomenal job. He did a phenomenal job taking care of me. The staff did a phenomenal job. And the craziest thing, the two most painful things outside of the headache, the day they took that drain out of my body, I thought I was going to die. I was like,
oh my gosh.
It was like, again, it's a foreign object in your body, they're like pulling it out. It's just like, holy cow. Yeah. And the day they pulled this PICC line, it is the tiniest, it is like the thickness of a pin thick. And it felt like pins and needles shooting down my body. Weird. It was the weirdest thing, but I'm thankful for it because it probably helped save my life.
Yeah.
But had I gone and made the choice to do my surgery at Gastric, I firmly believe that God put me here for a reason. And my hope is to tell the story for some degree, because when I was researching knowing this, I never saw the negatives. I saw people like, oh, here's sign might change, and oh, like your case wasn't changed, and oh, the being on purees suck. Yeah, but this is not an easy way out.
No.
I have worked my butt off to get to where I was. I've done a couple half marathons since then. Even now, like, I can be honest with you, the weight is not stay off. Yeah. If you don't work it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm up right now, and it's my own fault. You know? Yeah. Can I lose it? Absolutely, I can lose it. And I know I can, because now I have the tools to do it. If you have to first adjust this relationship appear with food before you do anything else.
That's so true. It's so true. It's like, it's not a one and done and you're skinny for the rest of your life. You still have to, I mean, my brain wants to say like, I still have to be on a diet. This sucks. But in all reality,
you have to stop thinking of it like a diet.
Right. In all reality, you have to just eat healthy and then you will maintain it. But when we go back to the chips and the snacks and whatever, boom, it's like, it's almost like surgery is not even there.
Right.
So,
and move your body, right? Like, like my doctor, I see a bunch of medicine, Dr. Helen. She's still now. She's like, you don't have to lift weights. You don't have to do all these things. Walk 30 minutes.
Nice. She's cool.
She's like, it makes a huge difference in this, and this, and in your body. Like, just move your body is all you gotta do.
Yeah, no, that's great. Before we get off the topic of the actual surgery though and what went wrong, just can you clarify a little bit more? So like you were in the hospital for 3 or 4 days, and I remember you telling me once, the first time I heard the story, didn't you say that you filled up with blood in like your abdomen?
My abdomen. So like basically all here was just pooling blood where it shouldn't have been.
Okay.
And my body just, that's why I say for a non-medical term, my body basically just decided to not clot. Like,
Okay.
it just let us freeze. They just like have a party.
So, so,
Wrong
so
time to have a party.
yeah. And so if you had gone to Mexico, that probably that probably all would have happened like during your trip home, like in
Mm-hmm.
the airports or somewhere
Mm-hmm.
on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really freaky.
Yeah.
And then how did they, so they sucked out the excess blood, and how did they finally get it to stop bleeding and get you
They
like
gave me
discharged?
clotting medication,
Hmm.
basically. So they gave me clotting medication. They gave me after they kind of sucked it all out, I would assume it had to make sure
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
leaking from anywhere.
yeah.
It was, I think, all a matter of medication. And I didn't even,
Okay.
when I left the hospital, I didn't even have to take anything. I think
Okay.
done that food. I think I had to take antibiotic only because my body had been through so much, and it was more
Okay.
of like a preventative
Yeah,
type of
make sure
thing.
you're not exposed to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So another issue that you've recently brought up, just in everyday conversation
Mm-hmm.
with me, is your iron levels.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak to that? And did you find out from this surgery that you had like a more than just the iron deficiency, but like an actual like a condition or a disease or something
Mm-mm.
like that related to it?
No. No, so with Roux and Y, one of the things that I had found in a lot in the research that I had done prior to having surgery was that your body's absorption is going to change. It not is going, it has the
It
potential to
does.
change.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, well, if one thing went wrong, won't it all go wrong? No, that's
Yeah.
not the case, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm like 1 in 100,000 that this happened. Like it's a
Okay.
rarity.
Okay.
Um, but from the iron perspective, for me, that is one of those things that changed drastically. And so I recognized that, like, I started working out religiously 2 days. I was eating healthy. Like, the moment he got in the gym, I was in the gym. I
Nice.
got, I waited 2 years because I wanted to lose the weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I got down, like, a healthy weight for me is like 165, 170.
Yeah.
Like, my goal was 150, 140. And my
Yeah.
doctor said, absolutely not. You will not look healthy.
Okay.
No. So I'm like, okay. So that also took a lot of pressure off of me.
Yeah, yeah. I think my goal is
But
right around
then,
that same range. So, yeah.
right. And so then you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm working out, I'm doing all these things. That must be why I'm so tired.
Mhm.
Man, that's got to be why I'm so tired. Well, then I started having like brain fog.
Mhm.
And I'm like, why can't I remember what we were just talking about? Like, what is happening? I thought it was affecting my job. I thought it was affecting my
Yeah.
home life, all these things. And went to the doctor and they did my annual blood work.
Mhm.
Everything was fine. My iron was a little low, wasn't a big deal. But then right before I had my tummy tuck,
Mhm.
which was in October 2020, they did a blood work and they're like, whoa, something is not, your iron is, something is wrong. No wonder you are so tired.
I wonder why it didn't show up on other tests, but or it just
It
started
did,
in
was
2020.
slowly,
Oh,
it was
gotcha.
in
Okay.
slow digress down
Mhm.
this like, spiral that
Okay.
is now my life of iron, right? Um, but the good news is that they put me on, they had sent me to a transfusion place, cancer care, which is
Mhm.
basically the same place you go for chemo treatments and all
Oh.
those things. And they started doing iron transfusions.
Mhm.
I had those about 3.5 years ago.
Mm.
And I did them, I think it was 3 sessions, 2 sessions of them, maybe. I can't remember the exact.
Mhm.
And I'm talking, I felt amazing
Wow.
afterward.
That's awesome.
Amazing. And then I'm noticing, like, okay, I'm gonna be 38. No, might be 39. I don't know how old I am. But I'm like, okay, my body's changing, my hormones are changing. Like, is that why I'm so tired again? Like, my
Yeah.
gosh, I'm exhausted. I came up like, I was a mom. Like, and I work
And
full
you work.
time. And
Yeah.
so I
Mhm.
have all these things that would make me a person tired.
Yeah.
Didn't think anything of it. Went to my doctor. She's like, hey, let's run some blood work just to get a baseline. I'm like, okay. I
Mhm.
run the blood work and my iron, any iron thing that you can think of was low.
Mhm.
Not just low, but like in the danger red zone.
Mhm.
But the scariest one was my iron saturation.
Okay.
And my iron saturation was a 4. And a normal low is 24 or 25. I can't remember.
And normal low is 24,
Normal
25?
low. Like the low
Wow.
scale stops there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so
Um,
scary. So,
yeah.
like, you were exhausted for real.
And so like then my doctor said, let's well, no wonder your hormones are out of whack. Your
Yeah.
iron plays a part in your hormones. It
Yeah.
plays a part in your exhaustion. It plays a part in your periods. I had an
Mhm.
ablation
Mhm.
and didn't work.
Oh, really? Wow.
Uh-huh. And my doctor swears it's all part of this. Like it can all come back to the fact that your levels are so out of whack.
Hmm.
It also now can play a part when your iron is that off. It can play a part in messing with your hormones, which can in turn mess with your ability to lose weight.
Of course. It all circles back around to that. Oh
Of
my
course it
goodness.
does. Because why
Yeah,
not?
right. So
So
is the saturation part low because of a condition that you have,
nope.
or it's just
So
simply your yeah.
like doing my surgery, oftentimes patients after the fact, like when you have weight loss surgery in general, oftentimes taking vitamins, you have to take a certain height because your body just absorbs things differently.
Mhm.
And one of the things my body chose as a part of my weight loss journey
Mhm.
was to no longer absorb iron the way that
Okay.
it does.
Okay.
So I now, in fact, I just had one Tuesday. I
Mhm.
finally got approvals again to go back to the doctor and get iron transfusions.
Good.
And I wish I could remember the name of the iron that they're getting you. It's a new type of
Yeah.
iron.
Okay.
Um, so I don't have to go as frequently. I'll do 3 treatments this time, but then I should be able to take a longer break.
Ask next is so you'll probably have to get these iron infusions regularly for the rest of your life, I'm assuming, and how often?
Yeah, so I actually asked my it's actually a hematologist, so my oncologist, hematologist, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I saw the same one and I walked in and he goes, "Oh, Lauren, 3 years on the dot." And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't remember us having that conversation. But he thinks it'll be if I don't stay. So right now insurance is approved in the first set, which is like the 3 different sessions.
Okay.
And she said I could do them like one day, like I have Tuesday, take a break Wednesday, and do it again Thursday, take a break Friday, and then do it Monday.
Okay.
But this one's causing flu-like symptoms for a couple of days, so I wanted
Oh.
to give myself a chance to see how I reacted.
Mhm.
I did have a reaction to the first type of iron that they gave me 3 years ago,
Mm.
so they had to give me a steroid before they gave me this one this time, and they did a lot of checking up on me, and I was like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Um, and honestly, the reaction was as simple as like flashy, I think they call it. So my body just
Oh.
got like super hot, and I was
Oh.
like pouring sweat. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like,
Yeah, that
hard
sounds
pass.
miserable. Yeah.
Yeah. But was the alternative, right? So,
Yeah.
um, I at this point we will meet after the third time again, and we'll do a blood drop then to see like where am I, right? Am
Okay.
I greater or less? Just for like to put it into perspective, I've been taking a pretty strong iron plus pill
Okay.
from my doctor prior
Mhm.
to transfusions, and I only went up half a point in 3.5 months.
Wow. So it's
So
really the absorption issue.
the
Yeah.
absorption is the big issue. So this
Okay.
goes straight into my screen that just kind of, but
Yeah.
I'm feeling, I mean, I had it Tuesday, so I'm day, what, 2 out from
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I already am feeling like my blue lights have been stopped this morning, which were great.
Good. Good.
And they were minor, right? It's just a little achy and like um, but I feel like I have energy.
Yay.
I feel like this space
Wow.
might look a little tired, but the reality is I I like, oh my gosh, I feel like a new person.
That's
So
amazing.
no.
I'm so, so glad that you're sharing this with
Mhm.
everyone. It's actually making me think I better go get my blood tested pretty
Yes, you
soon.
should.
And maybe, since the absorption is an issue with pills, maybe I need to start doing those IV infusions. Like, at Sandpoint, they have like a local place, or she'll even
Yeah,
a mobile IV infusion place,
yeah,
just like regularly,
yeah.
just to make sure that it's getting absorbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I have found is any vitamins that you can take that are like I have a really good ultimate vitamin and it's a liquid and it tastes like vitamin C. Like, is it great?
Okay.
No, but you put it under your tongue
Yeah.
and I have been able to tell a drastic difference in my energy levels. Also, just taking vitamins like that.
Okay.
So
What's the
some
Go ahead.
it's the brand is shoot, I can't remember.
That's okay. If you think of it later, or if you can grab
Okay.
it, then I'll put it in the show notes for
Okay.
people. Because yeah, I
It's
I
called
don't take
Ultimate
liquid
Vitamin though.
vitamins. Okay, good, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I need to switch over to that because I hate taking pills anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I struggle with pills, but I'm doing okay. So my daily routine now looks like I'll hit the vitamin in the morning, which is my ultimate vitamin. I take B12, which is the B12 complex.
Hmm.
I was taking a liquid form of that. And to be honest with you, I told my doctor I can't stomach it anymore. It tastes
Hmm.
like dandelions. I just can't
Oh,
stomach that. So I
gross.
was like, I'm good on that. Let's try
Yeah,
to take the B12.
yeah.
So I think B12 taking that. I think Chascard Plus, which helps with the hormones and the blood with
Okay.
the iron mixture. Also, anytime you're taking iron, what I have learned in all of my journey is you should be taking it with a vitamin C. So a few sips
Oh,
of orange juice, emergency, if you
cool.
take an emergency every day, but that helps it absorb even better.
Nice.
So like before I go to my attitude infusions, I drink about 8 ounces of orange juice just because I'm like, I know it's gonna absorb because it's going straight in my body, but I just want to
Nice.
get super careful.
Yes, exactly. That's a
Yeah.
great tip.
And then
Um,
at night I take magnesium and a cortisol manager to help with like the
okay.
stress hormone.
Okay. No, that's great. That's good to it's nice for people to be able to know like what a person's daily routine is.
Mm-hmm.
And what other I guess what other tips or just anything else that you want to share about the journey? I guess a huge question. Do you regret having the surgery even though all this stuff happened to you?
Not at all.
Okay.
What I have no regrets about the surgery. Tips that I would provide are, and maybe this is just because my dad's an attorney, but
Yeah.
do not go into a surgery without a medical directive, have
Mhm.
bar with training, have a living will,
Mhm.
like those things, it's worth the money. If
Yeah.
you got any accidents at all or children at all, or a spouse, it is worth the money to spend to get those done. That's tip one. Tip two is do the research. Like I would have killed to have found someone who had given me not just like the minor things of the inconveniences, but like
Mhm.
I want the diner. And you know what's crazy
Mhm.
is I told Bill, my husband, when I did this, I said, I'm going to record my journey because I want to see this journey. And I
Yeah.
have old videos from me in
Wow.
the hospital pre-surgery
That's
that I don't
cool.
even remember recording because I was so out of it.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat that you
So,
did that though.
but I didn't keep up with it. I
Yeah.
did keep a journal. That was helpful. The other thing is you have to have a supportive partner. If you have a partner, if you have a partner doing this, that's fine. You're going to be on
Mhm.
your own and you're going to be fine. There's no one to pressure you in any other way.
That's true.
But if you have a partner, like I could not have done this without the support of my husband and my
Mhm.
family.
That's cool. Yeah.
Be it knowing that I'm on purees, so please don't bring your food around me because I'm probably going to kill you because I'm probably hangry, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
just the truth.
Yeah.
But those are just a few key things. Okay.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like, it's the best decision I've ever made. I
Okay.
firmly believe that it saved my life. It may have almost taken my life, but it saved my life also because it gave me a new
Yeah.
outlook on life.
Yeah.
And now, like, it inspired me to work out and it inspired me, like, I
Yeah.
wanted to be better.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I would say is once you have the surgery, set yourself attainable goals.
Mhm.
Because if you don't set yourself attainable goals, like you are not going to lose weight every week. You are going to plateau at some point and you're going
Yeah.
to be so frustrated on that first plateau.
Mhm.
And at the second plateau, you're like, okay, this is frustrating, but I know I can do it. And then you're going to hit another one. And then guess what? You might
Yeah.
start working out, then you might gain a couple pounds. That
Muscle.
is okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. Stop looking at the number on the scale. Start looking at how you're feeling, how your clothes are fitting, all
Mhm.
the things. All the
Okay.
things.
What's besides the medical part that went wrong, what's the worst part of having the gastric bypass, like as far as your lifestyle?
Mhm. I I have dumping. I don't know. I thought I would
Okay.
grow out of it. Some of it I think is self-induced. I'll be honest. Like sometimes I am so hungry that I'm just like, like
Yes. Yeah.
putting it in my mouth, and then I'm like, oh man, I really should have chewed that up. That was not
Yeah.
a good idea. And my
I do
kids
the
know
same
we'll be at
thing.
the dinner table, and my kids will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna go down." Like, this is just
Yeah.
great. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys. Like, and then I come back and I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I've got busted blood vessels because I'm
Oh,
thrown up or
yeah.
whatever. But some of that's on me. So I think that
Yeah.
for me is the worst part because it's not
Yeah.
always controllable.
Yeah. For sure.
And also I love like drinking. If I am very thirsty, I love drinking water very fast.
Yeah.
That
And
is a
that's hard.
no-no.
Yeah.
It does not work well for me. But I will say if you drink alcohol, at least for me, it hits you real fast.
That's one thing that absorbs quickly.
It absorbs very quickly, yes. And they'll tell you that like 15 minutes later,
Yeah.
I'm sober as can be. So it's
Oh,
like,
that's cool. Oh,
it's my
nice.
husband's like, it's fine, you're for 15 minutes, we'll come out of it. It's like, why? It's like, yeah, this is
That's
great.
cool.
I'm a cheap
I'll
date, man. Yeah.
I'll have to pay attention to that. I do know I
Yeah.
get pretty dizzy quicker than ever before, but I'll have to pay attention to like how quickly I come back.
Okay, so that dizziness,
Yeah.
that's an indicator you need to have an iron levels checked.
Oh, really? Even when I'm
Because-
drinking?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I mean, maybe not that. But
Okay.
I will say, like, one of the things my doctor commented to me is,
Mhm.
are you noticing when you stand up, are you getting lightheaded? Are you getting
Yeah.
dizzy? Because all the time, but it starts slow. And
Okay.
I started noticing that, and that was like, oh my gosh, I never knew that was related to my iron.
Okay, that's good. I was getting that really badly the first like month after my surgery.
But
Every
your
time I
nutrition
stood up.
changed.
Right. Well, and I also was researching just on Google, and what I think made sense for me was they explained it like water in a hose. Your blood vessels are used to having a certain amount of fat and volume and pressure, and then when you lose weight quickly, they get loosey goosey. The hoses get loose, and then that makes it so that when you stand up, there's no pressure in the blood vessels to bring the blood back up to the brain. And so basically like you're shrinking everywhere. Well, so are your blood vessels, and they need time to catch up to the lower volume that because they used to be a lot more engorged when we were bigger.
Right. Right.
So I thought that was really cool, and that did subside, but I do still have episodes where, it'll hit me. So yeah, moral of the story, get your levels checked, everybody.
I say
yeah.
that's whole panel. Like what came out of my panel, I was like, and if you have insurance, a lot of times it will cover it. You pay like a $20 fee or whatever your copay.
Yeah.
It is the best night. Like I want to get my blood checked every 6 months now because for me, it helps me adjust what I need to adjust with my vitamin. It helps me adjust, I also started taking B12 shots regularly.
Nice.
For energy, and that has to also make a huge difference. I also work alone and have not been really sick when everybody else has been sick. So
that's awesome. Good.
It makes a huge difference. But I think all in all, Sarah, the reality is that this is a choice that you make for yourself.
Yeah.
You do not take a step into this journey to please somebody else.
Correct. Never.
If you take that step because your spouse wants you to, or your parents are pushing you to, or you're feeling the pressure of the world, which is right. The world sucks. People are mean. Right?
It's true. Yeah.
But if you're taking that step and you are not truly committed to loving yourself and loving the journey that you're about to have to go on, you will not be successful. You won't. And you have to accept there's going to be hard times. There's going to be failures. And if I remember one time I walked into work and I had someone tell me, oh, you look so good. Would you take these away and have surgery?
No way. Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I looked at this individual and I said, you have no idea what I just went through.
Yeah. That's so wrong. Man.
And I don't think people get it, right? Like,
no.
they just don't get it,
if they haven't dealt with obesity, there's no way they could get it.
No. So it's just, you have to make this decision for yourself and find yourself a support group, whether it be, like Sarah and I happen to work together. Maybe it's, I call Sarah, dude, I'm struggling today, and here's where I'm struggling. It's a kind of an accountability partner, right?
Yeah.
Find yourself an accountability partner that you can say, man, I really want to eat X, but I know I shouldn't. You got any other suggestions for me? Like, There
Mhm.
are so many good things out there that you can substitute.
That's true, and we do,
So many.
swap recipe ideas and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yep.
that all every week, so it's
Yeah.
actually really helpful to see, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that's what the other
Yeah.
person's doing, and it's working great, so I'm gonna try it."
Yeah. Yeah.
Inspiration.
Thanks. Well, let me tell you what, you are crushing it in your journey. So you
Oh,
just have
thank
to keep
you.
going and
Thank
it's going to be fine.
thank you so much, Lauren. This was an amazing interview. I'm so happy that you,
Good. I'm
got the
glad.
time to come on and share it with everyone, and, yeah, just thank you very, very much, and I know it's gonna
Yes.
be really impactful for people.
Yeah. I hope so. I really do hope so because it's a journey that will change your life. You just have to let it and fall into the everyday steps of your new life.
Perfect, well said. Thank
Okay.
you.
Perfect. You're welcome. Thanks,
Okay,
Sarah.
bye.
Bye.